Today, I would like to focus on the power of faith and how faith helped me discover my own internal compass in life. My friends and people that I work with call me unicorn, and it's not because of my hairstyle, and it's not even because I own a startup that is valued over $1 billion, at least not yet. But let's go back to my childhood. Since I was a child, I always had this curiosity to discover new things. I assume all children do. And this curiosity made me think I want to be an artist. And people said to me, don't be an artist. Artists do not make money. Be an architect. Architects are rich. So I did. Following this perception, I pursued my studies in London. And I must admit that London was really appealing to me. When I graduated, a lot of opportunities came on their way. I had an offer to go and work in Shanghai to a very successful company with a very good starting salary. But I had to make a choice for my life, and Cyprus took my heart. So I decided to return home. Friends and family wished me to break a leg. I don't know if you know, it's supposed to mean good luck. I don't know how, but it means good luck. And I must admit that the journey from the beginning was not magical and not so lucky at all. I entered the market at the heart of its meltdown. I don't know who was here in Cyprus in 2013, the Cypriot haircuts. People were losing their jobs every day. Savings in the bank were disappearing just like that. Even young people were losing their faith for the future. And I was one of them. During this period, my friends called me trouble. And I must admit that it was really hard. I went through a lot of emotional struggles. I faced a lot of unemployment failures and dead ends. And in the end, after all these failures and all these obstacles, I eventually broke my leg, literally. So hence the platinum plates, I was transformed from Natasa Trouble to Natasa-Platinum. And I felt that I had to stand on my own feet, literally and metaphorically. And it was through these obstacles that I felt the importance of being strong and actually discovering your inner strength and power and being independent and being free to choose. So, since 2013, I set up 3 companies. I have been a proud tutor in 2 universities. I have received 5 innovation awards. I secured 3 innovation grants and 1 PhD scholarship. That was the hard one. It was the times in my life that I fell into the bottom, that I found the strength to stand up and actually empower more than 3,000 people to unleash their full potential. This was a very critical point in my life, and I will talk about one of my companies, the lattice. The lattice was a stepping stone in my life. The same problem I was facing as a young artist back then became my obsession. How? I mean, think about it. How you can actually create more opportunities and more growth to young, creative, local talents that they are limited in their own shell in a very small country. I was really dedicated. I said, okay, what would be the best solution? Maybe an online platform, because a website has the capacity to access more people. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'm gonna make a website and collect all the creative aliens, which then became telalians, such as designers, artists, traditional craftsmen, and show that creativity has the power to change the world. Too romantic. Back to reality now. I had no money. I had no resources, and of course I didn't know how to code. I was an architect. And even my network was very limited back then. That didn't stop me though. I was determined to make it work. So I researched, I discovered the business competition, and I made an application. Even though I didn't know what was going to happen, I did it. I owe it to the people I was trying to help, and I owe it to myself. And I won the award. So with those few thousands, I hired a developer, and in 3 months' time, the lattice was live. People across the country were benefiting from its existence. Not only job opportunities, even friendships and relationships came out of the website. It became a matchmaking business in the end. And that was a very critical point in my life where I realized that I'm not trouble and I'm not just a platinum. I am a unicorn. Unicorns are pure creatures that perceive the world as a magical place, and they want to make other people see it this way. They become ambassadors of peace, love, faith, and of course, magic. They have the advantage of creating rainbow bridges between people and connecting each other. Did I know from the beginning that I would reach this state of awareness in my life? No, I didn't. This was a point where I realized the importance of how you perceive yourself, because the way you see yourself is what reflects and attracts the necessary vibrations and your opportunities in life. So yes, I'm a unicorn. And you know what? You can be one too. So I used my experience to share my own journey, and the 8 steps of unleashing your unicorn potential starts by identifying what doesn't work in your life and letting go. It's really important. You really know deep down what works for you and what doesn't. And that brings to number 2, about identifying other problems. Think of a greater purpose. The world is full of problems today, big problems, complex problems. Think about pollution, think about poverty, think about refugees, think about climate change. These are problems worth fighting for. Number 3, it's about exploiting. Taking the leap to transfer yourself from your own comfort zone that we all have into uncertainty requires a huge force. And this force is called faith. But before you discover your faith, you really need to face your fears. And I must admit, fears are very limiting at times. But think about fear. Fear is just an assumption that exists only in your brain. Do not let fear, either your fear or other people's fears, define your actions. And if you manage to escape your fears and develop your faith, then you can step into number 4, which is about envisioning. Create new solutions from new ideas. Innovation, it's about creating things that do not exist yet. And the payoffs to innovation are greatest when the uncertainty is highest. Remember that. Number 5, it's about initiating and starting something that truly matters to you first, and then to others. That will give you the courage and the patience to survive the journey. Number 6, it's about developing. Just do it. And number 7, it's about delivering and developing, to remind yourselves that it's really important to work on things that they have the capacity to change the life of everyday people. And if you solve a problem in a small scale, you do have the opportunity to extend it in a bigger scale, access more people, more cities, and more countries. And that's number 8, scaling up. We do live in a very rare and very special time in history right now. Digital technology and the internet are changing our lives. Use this. Use this to your advantage. Take the concept of startups as vehicles which you can actually combine technology with communities and make a difference. But don't fall into the trap to think of technology as what defines what you do. It's just there to enable your actions. And don't fall into the second trap, which is about money. Money should not be your primary goal, but it should be the result of a long, hard work. So may these 8 steps of my mistakes and my experiences and what I have learned accompany you in a very challenging, but I promise, very, very, very fruitful journey ahead. And I do like the number 8. It represents rebirth, as it is to your unicorn transformation. And it represents infinity, as it is to your possibilities. Remember that each unicorn is unique and beautiful in its own way, as people should be. Embrace the inner magic within yourself. And don't be afraid to stand out of the crowd. Trust me, I know, it's really hard sometimes. So just be a unicorn and be the future change maker our world needs today. Thank you.